Hi, I'm Vivian, and I'm the knitter.
And I'm Alyson, and I'm the crocheter, and you're listening to Keep Calm and Carry Yarn.
Thanks for joining us for episode 10 of Keep Calm and Carry Yarn.
Yes, hello. So this is our little crafty podcast that I do with my mom. I'm in Edinburgh. My mom's in New Hampshire, so it's a bit of a little project that we get to do together.
So today I'm in New Jersey.
Yes. Mm-hmm. We're just travelers, the two of us, aren't we?
So far away.
Yeah. I feel like out of practice, we haven't podcasted in over a month? Just over a month, maybe?
It's about a month. I think
because we're on our summer holiday.
Summer. Yep.
So only one episode a month instead of the usual 2 episodes.
Yeah, because we're so busy.
So busy. This has been the busiest week of my life. I can tell you later at the end why it's been so busy.
And I am in New Jersey because my whole family's here right now, almost. I mean, all my siblings are here, and we decided last minute to join everybody just for the weekend.
Yeah, it's the second time you've been down to New Jersey this summer. Right?
Yes, it's the second time, so that's why we're only staying for the weekend. There was a lot of sad faces and whining and begging before I got here.
By your family?
On my sister's part, yes.
Yeah.
Cool. So anyway, so I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go one more time. And so it's nice. The little girls are here, and my youngest nieces are here, and my youngest sister is here. And I even saw my cousin yesterday, so
yeah, I saw
everything is great.
Everything is awesome. It's a Lego movie reference.
Should we do our BuzzFeed quiz?
Yeah, so you picked the BuzzFeed quiz this week.
Yes, I picked it. I wasn't sure. So the name of this quiz is Tell Us What You Do in These Scenarios, and we'll tell you how British you are. And I'm not British at all, but I mean, thought it was... yeah. But you live there, so. But I thought it would be a fun quiz to take. And the first time I took it, it was different. The results were different from when I took it.
Answered something, a couple questions
I must have,
differently.
Yeah. So it all depends on what kind of mood you're in.
Yeah.
So my results were: you're 65% British. You're quite British in that you're very polite, but you will not hesitate in saying you're unhappy with something if that's the case, even if it makes you die a little bit inside because you feel like you're making a fuss.
So I got the same description, but 52%.
Oh.
So less than you. So basically, we'll have the link so you can look at the quiz yourself, but by scenarios, they just mean sort of everyday situations in which you have an opportunity to be so polite to the point of awkwardness and painfulness to just really blunt. So like the first question was, someone has pushed in front of you in a queue, what do you do? And the 3 options were tell them that there is a queue actually, or glare at them silently, or I probably wouldn't even notice. And I think I said glare at them silently.
No, I told them that there's a queue.
Passive aggressive. I don't know what's the most British. Maybe glare at them silently. I feel like either of the 2 are quite British.
I guess, I don't know. But basically, we're polite. Is how they're gauging this quiz.
Yeah.
So the more polite you are, the more British you are. Or is it the more passive aggressive you are, the more British
I don't know. I feel like it must be a combination. And like I said, it's not just being polite. It's like polite to the point of painfulness. Like, because I feel like they're polite on the outside, but on the inside they're like, God damn it! Hence the even if it makes you die a little bit inside because you feel like you're making a fuss. But yeah, so
okay.
What we should do is have actual British people take it and see what they get.
Well, you have access to actual British people. I do not.
Yeah. You have access to some.
Not on a daily basis?
True.
You do.
Okay.
I mean, okay.
So let's get on to the part where that people actually came here for the crafting.
Yay!
Specifically, we're recording this on August 13th, and yesterday was officially the last day to submit stuff to our KALCAL.
So I feel like there should be like fanfare music, trumpets. So in our little notes that we share, you did not put anything. So
I didn't put anything.
No idea.
I have a spreadsheet, right, to make it a little easier. So I was in the FO thread commenting on people's posts at the bottom of their post saying added to the totals, just so they knew and I knew which projects had been added to the totals. And I didn't do that for the last batch because I just didn't have enough time. But I have added everything to the totals. And big surprise, the crocheters won! So the crocheters won with 64,460 yards. And
wow.
The knitters had 27,200 yards. But it's not all bad. So I looked at how many people submitted crochet projects versus how many people submitted knitting projects, and then did like an average. So on average, the knitters submitted 2,092 yards, and on average, the crocheters submitted 2,014 yards. So slightly more on average for the knitters.
So that means we just have more crocheters.
Yeah, we have more crocheters, but also that the knitters, when they're knitting, they are knitting lots.
Okay. So maybe we should do averages next year.
Maybe.
That would just be more math on your part.
Not too difficult. Right. And then, so just for funsies, the person who submitted the most amount of projects on Ravelry was Tasnim13, and she submitted 22 projects.
Oh, wow. Way to go.
She was I think she was a knitter. So she has some like small projects in there as well, but yeah, lots and lots. And then M's Little Nest, who's also, I think she did knitting and crocheting, 15 projects. So yeah, lots of things. And Crafty Escapism, M's Little Nest, and Loophole Stacy were bistitchual. They played for both sides.
That's a good one. Oh, that's what we are. We're a bistitchual podcast.
Yeah. But, okay, yeah, I'm trying to think of the term for each of us only does one, though. So, yeah. So I've got my random number generator, and make sure I can remember what things we're pulling prizes for. So we're pulling prizes for people who used hashtag KALCAL on Instagram. So I've got 14 people, and I've got my list. So I'm going to do just the Google random number generator. And it is Ducky 1976.
Yay! Congratulations!
And I don't know, I think that's a different username as possibly her Ravelry, but that's her Instagram username. And what is her prize, Mother?
Her prize is 2 skeins of Mirasol Tuhu. It's a blue yarn, and it's 50% llama, 40% wool, and 10% angora, and it's about killing me to give this up.
You said it's a blue color?
It's blue. It's very pretty. It's very squishy. So message us, PM us, whatever. Give us your snail mail address so we can send this off to you.
Yes. So we've also got our Ravelry prize for people who have participated in the chat. So we'll pop it in the random number generator. Max 29, 7. I have to count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's Whisker Moon.
Hey, congratulations! You've won a purple paisley Alyson bag. It's my medium project bag in a very pretty purple paisley and green stripe pattern.
Nice. Okay. So, do we want to do the consolation team knitting prize before the grand prize?
Sure.
Why so sad?
Because we already know that. I don't know. So wait a minute. Consolation team knit prize.
Yeah.
What if you pick somebody that also is bistitchual? Is that okay?
Yeah. I mean, if they've helped team knitting, then they've helped team knitting, you know?
Okay. All right.
So we've got 14 knitters. Just popping it in the random number generator. And it's number 12, and that is Tasnim13, our prolific project maker.
Yay! Congratulations. You have won a digital copy of Jennifer Lassan's Emmeline May. I will contact her, and she will send you the... Is that her Ravelry name?
Yep, that's her Ravelry.
Oh, then she'll be able to get it right to you. Congratulations. Okay.
Grand prize. Do you want to like do the whole... Tell them what the prize is first?
Sure. For the grand prize, the winner will get a original bag from Pearl and Plum. Mm-hmm. It's a black and white houndstooth bag with a little bit of red in it. It's
a nice big tote bag.
It's a nice big tote bag. It's got magnetic closure, pockets inside, and it's very pretty.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously.
And 1 skein of red alpaca socks yarn. And since I don't have the stuff in front of me, that's the best I can do to describe it.
Okay. So this is 100% going to a crocheter. Sorry, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 32 crocheters.
So we have twice the amount of crocheters as we do knitters.
26, and that is... Oh, goodness, it's Ma Dashper. It's Faye from the Crochet Circle podcast.
Congratulations, Faye. You get our beautiful houndstooth bag and red alpaca socks yarn.
Eee.
Whoa, okay. That was pretty good for our first craft along, knit along, crochet along.
Yeah, there was definitely some super great projects that I have been adding to my favorites in Ravelry. So it's good to sort of have, I mean, other than just scrolling through Instagram and like seeing other people's projects, but having this going on and really being able to see, I don't know, really focus on some projects and
I love seeing everybody's not just everybody's FOs, but even just what they're talking about and stuff. So that's been really nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so congratulations, everyone. You want to move on to our next segment?
Whoops.
We're kind of out of order today.
So disorganized. Whips.
Whips. Okay, whips. I only have one. In fact, I started a new hat. It's color dip hat, and it's a Pearl Soho project, so it's free. And I just had some leftover yarns, and I started. It's a fisherman's rib pattern.
Mm-hmm.
The stripes are going vertical like this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, people can't see me going like this, but the stripes are going vertical, and it looks like a rib where on one side all the knits are red, on the other side all the knits are red.
Gray, you mean?
Gray, I mean, yeah. Anyway, I started this just a few days ago, and then yesterday, for some reason, I decided to size my needles, and I realized that my needles were too big, so I pulled it off of the needles, and I put it on my head. It was ridiculously big. So it's even though it's a whip, I have nothing to show right now because I completely pulled it apart, and I have to do some math because I don't have the right size needles with me, and I won't be going home until tomorrow. So we'll see what I do with it. But I am having fun with the fisherman's rib, and I did some research, and I did find out that the fisherman's rib is the same result as a brioche knit, and I know you have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, I do. I was going to ask you, is that a brioche knit?
Yes, but the fisherman's rib, it's the process that how you knit it is different from like when I did the brioche, you have to yarn overs and blah 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 blah, and for that was for the brioche, what I said before, and for fisherman's rib, you're actually knitting into the row below, so you have yarn overs, except you're not physically doing yarn overs because you're physically
so it's easier.
It's actually easier, yeah. So it's the result is the same. It's just a different process.
I think it's a really cute hat, but I really like the colors in the pattern, like with the white, and then
pink?
like the neon pink. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, well, I'm using gray and red because this is for Danny.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And red has always been his favorite color.
It's still his favorite color.
It's still his favorite color, and he's a college student now. But yeah, so anyway, I'm making that for him. Then that will be the final Christmas gift for the cousins.
Nice.
And I will be done when I'm done. But you know what? Brioche / fisherman's rib, it goes slower than regular knitting.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, well, as I'm knitting, it's like, this is growing really, really slowly. So it'll take a little longer than the other hats. So what do you have, sweetie?
So I have the Honey Clone Cowl by Aparna Rolf. And I think it's called the Honey Clone Cowl because it's meant to be sort of like a crocheted version of a knitted pattern.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that one's just the honey cowl. I don't know, but this is what I'm doing. So it's
honey clone. That's clever.
Honey clone. Yeah.
But you did not include the
link. No, I didn't. So I was looking for something to use some leftover yarn from.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got the chartreuse color and the white color from my Hotel Bees shawl.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the chartreuse is a Crafternoon Treats yarn, and the white one's just a Jameson and Smith yarn, and then the gray yarn from my Tunisian cowl, and that was an alpaca socks yarn that I took from you. And so I found this pattern. I think it's a paid for pattern, but it's pretty flexible in terms of the size you can make it. So you could just do it so it's a cowl. So it just does one loop. But I think I hopefully made it long enough to loop it around my neck twice. I actually started it and then ripped it out and started again. And I don't know if it's long enough yet. It might be quite snug to get it over my head twice. I mean, I can. I tested it out so far. It's only maybe a couple inches wide so far.
So when you block, you can stretch it out a little bit.
But like the nature of the stitches just make it kind of difficult.
Oh. You know what?
Anyway, so it uses...
It looked kind of like that broken seed stitch that I made, the hat for the purple and blue hat that I made for Jennifer. Was it the Cyclone Hat? The stitch. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyway, okay.
I know what
go on.
But yeah, so it's just done in the round, but it uses the I think I've seen it called the waistcoat stitch, but it's also I think just a split stitch where you put in your hook sort of instead of through the loop through the V of the previous crochet stitch, so you get the little V's that look like knitting.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
So you do it in like contrasting colors, so you see these little V's. And both sides of the cowl look different. So the pattern calls for 2 different colors, but because I only had a little bit of the white and the gray, I'm combining them into stripes on one side. And then, so that's how I'm using 3 colors. So I've not worked on it too much lately, but I've started it since our last episode, I think. So yeah, that's my work in progress.
So the honey cowl that it's kind of based off is that cowl that I gave you.
Okay, I thought maybe that's what it was. Yeah. I can sort of see how it's, like, on this side. Can you see? But then, like, it doesn't have those stitches in it.
Yeah.
So, very loosely, I suppose. Just inspired, maybe.
Maybe you can take a picture of that and...
side by side?
Yeah, we can include that in the show notes.
So, I have a bunch of FOs. I think you do as well, don't you?
I wouldn't call it a bunch. I have 2.
Oh, okay.
So my FOs, I finished the, how do you pronounce that?
Hippolyta?
I finished the Hippolyta beach cover up.
For Emily.
I don't have pictures. You can look at the Ravelry.
I saw a picture that you posted on
Ravelry?
The KALCAL.
Oh, yeah.
And it was on the mannequin. And like, yes. I feel like it looked like it clung to the mannequin, but is it more like loose fitting?
It's very loose fitting. Loose fitting. Yeah, it came out right. I still have to block it. Right now it's on your bed. But I haven't actually blocked it yet because we're in New Jersey. So I'm pretty sure your sister will like it a lot because that's her color. And it looked really good on the mannequin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the mannequin's name is Susie Cute, by the way.
Oh, okay.
And my other FO is I made another Peri Fleurs for your little cousin. And this one I made correctly.
Uh-huh.
And I switched out some of the colors, so there's pink in the background, and I'm pretty pleased with it. And I'm actually debating on whether or not to line it so it's warmer, because she lives in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And it's big enough that if I lined it, I think it would be
It'll still fit.
It would, yeah, it'll still fit, especially if I use another fingering weight. Yeah, so that's where I have those two. And I actually, yeah, that's all I have. Sorry.
So I've had a few things. I think two of which I've talked about before. So the first one is the crochet triangle top, which is like that free pattern in Swedish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I finished that to my own specifications. So the top, I did the same. So I made a little cord to weave through the sort of gaps, and that could be tied like a halter top.
Mm-hmm.
The back bits are like separate, and then I put little buttons so you can button it in the back.
Oh, nice.
And like your whole back is sort of exposed. And I tried to like sew in like little darts of the boob area to help with the gaping, but it's definitely going to be something to wear over a pretty bralette or
a bathing suit.
Yes, which I won't have very many opportunities to do, only on vacations, because I haven't even worn shorts here because it does not get hot enough.
Not even for me?
No, like not even for Sam. I think he's worn shorts out here this year in Edinburgh. Like I could count on one hand. But yeah, so that's that one. The second one is probably the one I'm most excited for. It's my Girl Boss Tote.
Oh, they came out really nice.
So this was the Girl Boss Tote that was in a previous Molly Makes issue. I think it's a little smaller than their one. I've done it slightly differently, other than making it a bit smaller, which was sort of on accident. But the bottom, I did solid, because it's done with the filet crochet, so it's all like mesh stitches. So the bottom of the bag, to make it a little sturdier, I've just done straight up, I think, double crochets instead of a mesh stitch, and then had to, what is this called? I poked in the corner and then sewed it shut like that, so it's actually like a bottom instead of. I
don't know what the name is, but it's kind of like the bottom of a paper grocery bag, right?
Yeah, kind of like that. And then I got the leather straps from a seller on Etsy. And I'm actually really pleased with the leather straps because I actually bought two. The first one I bought was too wide and it was pretty stiff. And this is from the same seller, but it's different leather. And it's nice and soft and like buttery, and it smells like leather. And I had to buy a leather hole punch to sort of get the straps into the holes. And I lined it. So it's double lined. So there's a solid gray fabric showing through the mesh stitch. And then on the inside is a cotton and steel print, and it's illustration of like makeup and stuff, and it's really cute.
That's adorable.
And I'm like super proud of it because I did it all by hand, and the lining on the top is like done with invisible stitches into the crochet, so you can't even see that, and it looks amazing, and I don't want to give it away. But yeah, so that's for my sister-in-law's birthday coming up at the end of September.
Very nice.
Yeah, so she better like it.
I'm sure she'll love it.
And then the last finish object I have.
And you did this one quick.
I did this one in a week. So, it is a blanket. And I posted a picture of the yarn, which is, I had to rewind 6 balls of yarn into like a new ball of yarn, so it was humongous. I posted it on her Instagram, and Hannah from
I didn't realize that's what it was.
Yeah, so I didn't buy it like that.
Oh, I see.
Hannah from the Cozy Crochet Cottage podcast, she immediately knew what it was for. It was for the rainbow blanket by Lindsay from Lottie and Albert, in which it's a free pattern, but it's the whole 6 strands of yarn wound together, and then it's just half double crochets done into the back loop so that you get the sort of knitted looking stripe things. So specifically, this is being donated to the Welcome Blanket Project, which is another one of those craftivism things. I think it's the same people who did the Pussy Hats.
Oh, okay.
So the idea, the Welcome Blankets are being eventually donated to new immigrants in the U.S. And I think they're doing it in partnership with the Smart Museum of Art in Chicago. And the idea is they're asking for blankets which are 40 by 40 inches. And, you know, they figured the average blanket of that size, or, you know, a typical blanket of that size uses however many yards of yarn. And they want to collect enough blankets in which the total yardage equals the distance of the American-Mexican border.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So technically my blanket isn't 40 by 40, but I think they'll still take blankets that aren't exactly that size, because I just bought 6 balls of yarn, wound it, and when I ran out, and so it's not quite a square. Maybe if you stretched it, it would be a square.
So what is it? Is it acrylic?
Yeah, it's just acrylic. So it was really cheap yarn. I probably could have gotten more. But part of why I needed to finish it within a week was to do with a different thing that I was doing this past week. But it is really nice. Like, I think
I like the colors.
Yeah, it's all. So I didn't mention it's all blues. So obviously you can do any sorts of colors. The original rainbow blanket, it's all in like rainbow different colors. But I picked just different tones of blue. So there's like a turquoise, a like bright royal blue, a baby blue, a light gray, and then a white, which is flecked with like rainbow colors, a little bit of red, yellow.
So was that hard to
there was definitely a few places where I missed a strand, and so sometimes I would rip it back and do it again. Other times I just sort of like wrapped it in and sort of fudged it just to get it in. But yeah, but it is like really nice and squishy with all the different yarns, and obviously it works out really fast. And I think it's something I'll do again for like myself or other people and stuff. Because like if it's just acrylic, even it's nice. And it was very warm because I was crocheting it with it on my lap, and I was getting very toasty. So yeah, that's all my finished objects.
Those are all your FOs. Wow, you were very productive this month. Have you done any adventuring? Yeah, so the reason why I had to do this in a week is because I've been participating, and this kind of goes with like a nerdtastic theme, in this scavenger hunt. I don't think I've told you about it at all, have I? Me or the podcast?
You.
You mentioned it to me.
I mentioned it to you? Okay, so it's called Gishwes, spelled Gishwes, and it stands for, the greatest international scavenger hunt the world has ever seen. WHES. Right. So it's this big, I don't know how many years it's been going on, but I think this year was supposedly the last year it was happening. But there's an actor called Misha Collins, and he's in Supernatural.
Yes.
He's the angel, Castiel. So he runs it, and it's sort of a weird, like, partly for charity sort of thing. Like, we had to pay an entrance fee, and I don't know if part of that entrance fee went to some sort of charity, but the idea is you have this team of 15 people, and either you find your own team, or after signups they create teams, and our team spanned from members here in the UK, in Belgium, in Amsterdam, Australia, and the US.
Mm-hmm.
And at the start of the week, you get this list of tasks to do, items
to collect.
So it's to collect, but really the thing that you're collecting is either a photo or a video of you doing that thing. And it's a huge list. It was over 200 items, so it's not like you're going to do all of them. They all have a certain point value depending on usually like how difficult it is. So for every task you do, if you do it correctly, I think you get like the full point value, but you can also have points deduct if you haven't done it correctly, or you can get extra points if you've executed it super, super, super well. And the tasks range from artistic, crafty things to community service type things. So this one that I did this for was like 63 points. So this was like 63 points, and it was to either make or obtain blankets to donate to new immigrants and stuff. So I was like, I can do that, and I better get extra points for the fact that I made this and did not just obtain it. But we did other like Sam made one of the things was to make cookies or some sort of baked goods for your local first responders. So he made little sugar cookies. Actually, some of them weren't that little, in the shape of fire trucks and little like flames. Aww. And we gave them to the firemen at the fire station just down the road that you can occasionally hear them going by. So we did like I have a picture which will probably become my Facebook profile picture of myself dressed as girl with a pearl earring, but in the style of a photographer called David LaChapelle, he does like sort of kitsch pop hyper real stuff, which probably our photo doesn't quite qualify, but so I've got like my headscarf in like pattern prints and it's all crazy. But yeah, so that was a week of doing that on top of going to work, on top of the fact that it was the first week of the Fringe Festival. And for anyone who doesn't know what the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, just every summer, particularly in August, there's multiple sort of festivals going on, and the city is absolutely crazy. Like just walking up on the Royal Mile, it's completely packed. There's people everywhere. Like they've blocked off a certain part where it's all pedestrianized, and you're supposed to go in one way and out the other. And there's just people handing you flyers for shows, and like the idea is like you don't really have to book anything. There's lots of free things or things that you can just pay at the door, and you just walk up there, pick up some flyers, go to a show. Like there's just a crap ton of things going on.
That's so cool.
And like things that we didn't know were venues are venues, and things that aren't venues normally are venues now. Like, you know, bars, and I think there was one even sort of like a grocer's is a venue. So we had booked 2 shows for Monday, 1 show on Wednesday, and then I had a show on Friday as well. So it's just been absolutely nuts this week.
Well, it sounds like you're enjoying your summer anyway.
Yeah. No shows this weekend though, just because I just needed a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was up until 2 a.m. yesterday, as we were like rushing to try to do as many tasks for the scavenger hunt as we possibly could.
So was last night the deadline?
The deadline was like 7 this morning.
Oh, I see. That's so funny. The things young people do these days.
Well, the grand prize, which I'm sure we are nowhere near, was a trip to Hawaii.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So what did we just do? Was that Nerdtastic that we just did?
I think that was... We don't really have anything planned for Nerdtastic or favorite things or Wikipedia, so I think at this point it's just like, that was like kind of Nerdtastic.
Okay, I don't have anything for Nerdtastic other than, I think last night, was it last night? The final episode of Orphan Black?
I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it either.
Oh.
But I am caught up until that episode, and I was like...
Okay, wait, so just rewind. If any of you haven't watched the latest season of Orphan Black and are going to and don't want to be spoiled, then close your ears or something.
Close your ears.
Because the last time we talked about it, I hadn't watched it and you had, so you couldn't really say that much without spoiling it. But you kept saying, like, everything is different, like... And I was like, what are you talking about? And I still... Did you mean the fact that
they threw in a whole new element. It was like this guy that's been living forever, and I'm like,
yeah.
Where the heck did he come from? Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm about. Yeah, that was a bit weird. Like, you can see how it's sort of gone off the rails. Like, just the fact that it's like, yeah, okay, there's clones and there's bad organizations that are doing not great human experiments, but then suddenly it's like, and then this, and then that, and then it's like, this is just
a little crazy. A little crazy. But I'm enjoying it nonetheless, and I'll be sad when it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... But I did do a little bit of yarn adventuring this month.
Yeah.
Or not this month, I guess it would have been in July.
This past month. 30 days?
Yes. So we went on our family vacation in Vermont and did like a day trip to Burlington, where there is a yarn store called Nido Fabric and Yarn. It's NIDO. It's a cute little shop that's upstairs in the little shopping district in Burlington, and Burlington is very artsy. It's they have like a farmer's market on Saturdays where there's lots of just organic farm items, whatever, booths. Mm-hmm. There's food, like there's food from all over the world. And I said, we went down there for the farmer's market to have lunch and stuff. And I told the family, I have to go to the yarn store. So they all paraded up the street with me and went to the yarn store. And it was actually really close to the farmer's market and tucked in between a couple of stores. And I met two girls. Oh my gosh, I forgot their names.
It's on our Instagram.
It is on our Instagram.
So were they people that worked there?
Yeah, they're people that work there. They're very nice. And I wasn't even going to mention the fact that I'm a podcaster, but it's your father that did that. Karen and Caitlin. Uh-huh. So I bought, they have fabric and yarn, oddly enough. So they had a lot of Quince & Co. They had a lot of Quince & Co. yarn, and they had a trunk show at that point. So there were samples and some local yarns, but because I really don't need to be adding to my stash, I did buy a couple of skeins of yarn that was in their sale bin, and it's kind of a local yarn. It's Swan's Island, which is made in Maine, which is part of New England. And it's just a state away from New Hampshire and 2 states away from Vermont. And the color I bought is yellow. It's called Natural Colors Collection, and it's sport weight, 50% merino, 50% silk, and it's very squishy. And I can't wait to use it, but I don't have any project in mind.
I'm looking at the picture, and it does look really nice.
Yes, and I also
bought like sort of like a mustardy goldenrod color.
Yes, which is not really my color. But
mustard is so in right now.
And I also bought 2 fabrics, and they have sweaters on them. One is one fabric is a blue background with white sweaters,
I like
and
that
the other one, me too. The other one is a white background with different colors, red and green and blue and pink sweaters. So those are for the shop, and I will be making bags out of that at some point.
Very cute.
Yep. So that was my purchase at Nido.
So wait, it's a naturals color collection. Are they naturally dyed as well?
I'm assuming so.
Is that why? Yeah. It doesn't like say on the label what it was dyed with or anything.
I mean, I'm sure I could look it up, but
Oh yeah, you don't have it with you.
and then in Stowe, I went to the Stowe Fabric and Yarn, and I go there every time we're up there. I go there, and usually I try to buy some local yarn. And there wasn't anything that I wanted because I've bought all the local yarn from that store before. But they did have some sale yarn that I picked up, and it's Mirasol Llama Una, and it's DK weight, 100% baby alpaca, and it is very soft and very squishy. And I don't know what I'm doing with that one either. Maybe a cowl. But it's so soft. I mean, it's baby llama.
Yeah.
And I also bought a couple of fabrics, probably for the shop. I haven't decided yet.
Hey, speaking of fabrics, have you worked on my quilt yet?
No. I've been very busy. In fact, the shop is so
Depleted.
and I have barely had time to. I haven't really been home.
Yeah.
So, no Mommypedia or favorite things this time around?
No, we're so scrambled and disorganized. I feel like, we've managed to do what we've managed to do.
So, this may be
a short episode.
An abbreviated episode, yes. Because I'm not even home, so I don't have all my stuff. Mm-hmm. Anything else to talk about?
I don't think so. I feel like I was thinking about something, but I don't remember anymore.
I did sew a few bags before I came here. So hopefully by the time this episode goes out, the shop will be less depleted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So is that it then?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Summer vacation.
So let's do our outro.
I think that's us for today. You can find our show notes on our website at kcacypodcast.wordpress.com. Follow us on Instagram at kcacypodcast. And you can join our Ravelry group. Just search Keep Calm and Carry Yarn podcast, and that should get you to us. And you can listen to this podcast off of iTunes if you prefer that method, or you could watch it on YouTube. Just search Keep Calm and Carry Yarn podcast, but you're probably already doing one of those things. So thank you for listening.
And remember to keep calm and carry yarn.